We were talking off air about big story coming out of Asia right now is the story about the coronavirus. Of course, there are multiple coronaviruses. That name is like a catch-all. It's
Mm.
like saying common cold,
Right.
but there's a lot of different varieties of common cold. Um, but Pastor Folkerts was mentioning something in the break. There's two stories really here that are competing. One says it really shouldn't be a threat. The other one is we're not sure.
Sure, yeah. So, and I never read any news articles to this effect. I just pulled up my calculator. If you look at the total tally of those who have been infected with the coronavirus, and you look at the total death toll, and you do the math, it's about a 2% loss. 2% death loss is very standard for influenza. So, my opinion is where's the news? This is not newsworthy. That's how many people die in any given year from the flu. So, not that I'm saying, this isn't something to be concerned about, but that makes us raise a question. Why is this in the news? Are the statistics China's feeding us correct? Is it, and actually, we were listening to one Chinese doctor yesterday online who was saying that the death total is actually in the thousands. So we know that we can never trust what China says. Now, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but it makes you wonder if it is only 2%, why all the hype? If it is more than 2%, then they're not telling us the truth. So where are we at?
So if we end up the worst case scenario with some sort of worldwide pandemic, which is the fear that various health officials from around the world have, um, Christians have been through this before. They've been through it throughout the centuries. It is a test of faith. When you see thousands of people in your own communities dying, what do you tell people in that situation? Because a lot of people are going to say, well, they're going to either give up on their faith, but some they'll become stronger in their faith.
Yeah, this really is one of those kind of moments. If this is bigger than what they're telling us, and the danger exists here, I think you're going to find the necessity for the body of Christ at large across the world to come in to give aid and care, compassionate care, not just medical care or humanitarian care, but gospel care. Come in and address the suffering that people are enduring and the shortness of time on the souls of men and women. It's going to be, I think, in a spiritual sense, akin to the way a firefighter goes toward danger to give rescue. And the same is for the Christian. The Christian at this point knows the risk, knows the dangers, and knows the shortness of time and the temporal condition of man. And what is his response to do? To go to the danger and take the gospel with him.
Yeah, I don't want to be uncompassionate here, but listen,
Right.
we're all going to die of something.
Right.
And so our focus never deters from Christ and his glory and his purposes. So it's one of those things where, listen, God knows when you're going to die.
Right.
And so let's live life accordingly, according to his truth, and honor him. Doesn't mean that you don't take precautions. Doesn't mean that you don't go after people and share and love people, but we need to put those things in perspective.
Well, I even think Martin Luther in his day put his own self at risk of caring to the suffering of the plague and the various issues that community, that society was suffering in those days, knowing that he's a father, he's a husband, he has responsibilities to people that he loves dearly, but he doesn't keep that from him taking the gospel. He does it through compassionate care, but his aim, that which drives him there is the gospel. It's not compassion. It's not humanitarian.
And also for Christians, we realize that the Lord works with a sovereign, mysterious providence. And so these seasons of great affliction might open doors for the gospel to take a greater stronghold in China. The gospel's already there. There's a strong house church movement. But this could be a powerful opening of the door for the gospel to just overturn communism. As we're reading this and following this, it's just idiotic what China is doing as it's trying to quarantine this virus. They're creating a hotbed where this is just going to incubate until everybody is infected with it. It's just the doctor who came forward and warned them about this was apprehended and restrained.
Right.
I mean, and this is what makes me think it's more than just the flu. Even though they're saying 2% died, it's got to be more. The doctor who informed the Chinese authorities about this was about 42 years old, my own age. He died from it.
Right.
So it's like something's, I don't know.
Hey, here's a preacher who pulled out a calculator. That's,
Yeah, you know, every
that's
now and
pretty
then.
impressive. Almost.
That's pretty archaic.
I don't even know if I can find a calculator.
I was telling Ken Menzel that I ran into the sheriff a couple of weeks ago. I'd been out shopping for a radio, which is difficult to find, an actual
It
just
is.
radio any longer in a store. And I said I probably bored the sheriff and his wife and their companions. They were all eating, complaining about the fact they couldn't find a radio. And a calculator, the other day I was in the store doing some shopping, and guess what? I saw one, an actual but I have my original. My dad gave me a calculator when I was 12, and it's got a round face on it. I still have it, and I bet if I put batteries in it, it would still work.
Mhm.
I haven't taken it out of a box in 25 years.
Yeah.
But we have a comment just quickly. We've got about a minute to go. Brock in Twin Falls was commenting about abortion, and he says, being against abortion is a huge thing I look at when I'm voting for local representatives. And then he goes on to say, I agree with what most of what one representative, and names the representative, is for, but he says, but when it comes to this issue, and he names a representative by the name of Lance Clough, who has told me that he is pro-choice because he doesn't feel as a man that he should have any input on what a woman does. But this writer Brock says this is one of those things that motivates him when he votes, is the stand that a particular politician has on this issue.
So we thank him for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, no politician has a greater authority than God. And so he's rightly assessing that, and he's trying to figure out exactly what the candidate is. You know, to me, that's a cop-out to say, you know what, I'm not doing. God's given us clear instructions, and so we have conviction and say, this is what God said, so this is what we're going to do.
That Lance Clough's argument is worse than a cop-out.
Yeah.
It's just idiotic.
Yeah.
It's an excuse. It's just like the policeman saying, who am I to arrest you?
Right.
Who am I to stop you for speeding?
Yeah.
You know, that's dumb.
We got about a minute to 40 seconds. Just quickly, your churches and what times you have services.
Paul Thompson, Eastside Baptist Church. We gather on Sundays at 10:30 in the morning and 6:30 in the evening. 204 Eastland Drive North.
Sure. Christopher Folkerts, pastor of New Covenant United Reformed Church, 1306 Filer Avenue East. Worship times is 10 o'clock a.m. and then 11:45 as well for a teaching service. And we'll let Bear go last.
Yeah, Magic Valley Bible Church. We meet on the corner of Gooding and Main downtown, 204 Main Avenue. We meet at 9 o'clock on Sunday mornings. Lots of ministries to encourage you. One thing I did want to get out there was this Embrace Grace. Yeah, we talked about abortions. If you know of people who have an unwanted pregnancy and they're out there struggling, make sure you contact our church. We'd love to minister to them.
Amen.
I want to thank the pastors. We'll see them again in 1 week. Coming up on 10 o'clock, the news is following at 10 o'clock, of course. Bill Colley with you on News Radio 1310 KLIX and NewsRadio1310.com. Got to slow it down a little bit. God willing, to the Creektown Rise. I'll be back here tomorrow morning between 6 and 10 a.m.